What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a great day. So, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there's some drama. The EU has taken legal action against Star Stable.
Hmm?
That's right, you heard me. Now, granted, I'm a little late to this. I'm still gonna talk about it. It's a pretty huge deal. So, apparently, the EU announced a crackdown on harmful in game currency practices. Basically, this means that games will now need to display real world prices for everything in their stores. Now, I've been an SSO player for years, since 2017. And I remember prices really not being too bad compared to the prices now. I understand that we have a difficult economy now, but the prices have just gotten out of hand. I also feel for, kids who they may not get allowance. I know a lot of uh, kids who don't get allowance. And keep in mind, this is a kids' game. Meanwhile, anybody can play it, but it is typically made for kids. Um, Kids may not always be able to buy star coins. At the prices they are now, I know they definitely have an issue with it. Parents can't always put out that kind of money. They have bills, things like that to pay, so they can't always, buy something for a game. So that also ties into the whole out of hand thing. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So back to the whole topic. They found, and they, I mean, as in like the regulators of EU or whatever, I think I got that right. Um, they found like four major issues, and the first one being is ads directly appealing to children. Basically, meaning they're encouraging kids to buy star coins or convince their parents to like spend the money to buy the star coins for them. Um, and this is a lot of, a lot of games do this, obviously, but it's in a manipulative way that they do it is part of the issue. The second way is time limited sales. It basically creates pressure. Um, so if you see a sale, you're like, oh, I got to get that. And they only have a limited time, or they'll make that time frame very, very short. Um, so it pressures you into, saying, oh, I got to get this before it runs out. And therefore, you're spending the money faster than you probably would, if at all. Number three is the lack of clear pricing information. This is when Star Stable hides the real cost of an in game purchase by using star coins instead of direct pricing. Now we come to number four, and this is influencers failing to include sponsorships. This is when influencers fail to 100% and visibly put out there that they are sponsoring Star Stable. Or this can go along also with any other company, anything like that. Anybody who is sponsoring somebody and they don't visibly and 100% transparently put out that they are sponsoring them. This is super misleading to a lot of people, especially children. So the EU said that Star Stable has about 1 month to provide a response addressing the issues and propose commitments basically to fix them. So we'll see how that goes. We all know Star Stable takes decades to get to their players, and their response time is quite slow. So I guess we'll see how they take to this. If Star Stable fails to address the issues, the EU could force them to change their business practices. Keep in mind, though, that this is not just for Star Stable. The EU is making legislative changes that will change, like, in game purchases forever, basically. It's not just for Star Stable. So, the big price change could mean a myriad of things, honestly. Specifically, what I mean by that is horses are usually 950 star coins. So, with this new change, you would be seeing $30 instead of 950 star coins. I don't know about you, but this would definitely make me make better decisions on buying horses, especially considering that I get bored with my horse within a week. Now, a lot of games, not just Star Stable, have in-game currency, right? So the reason why they do this is because they know, obviously, if we see real dollar prices, they know people aren't going to be as likely to buy the currency in game. Therefore, they show real currency, real dollar currency to pay for in-game currency. It does trick the mind. I'm a pretty frequent buyer of star coins just because I do play Star Stable quite often. But if I saw $30 instead of star coin currency for in-game purchases, my mind would be blown. I would walk away. I absolutely would walk away. Back onto the topic. If players fully realize how much they're actually spending, I guarantee you a lot of them are going to rethink how much they're actually spending. Myself included. When you're not seeing actual dollars, it's a lot easier to spend. You're just saying, oh, it's just star coins, it's in-game currency, it's not a big deal. But in reality, if we actually saw those numbers of how much money we were spending, a lot of us would rethink our purchases. Now, if Star Stable players stop spending as much money, Star Stable would have to lower their prices. This would be because they're not getting enough sales. Therefore, they would lower their prices in hopes of getting more sales. Because when people see that things are cheaper, they're more likely to buy it than it is overly expensive. Some of you guys might know, but Star Stable had to get rid of some of their employees. This being due to that they did not have enough sales. They didn't have enough profit to pay their employees. I genuinely think this was when they started raising prices. They realized they couldn't afford certain things. They couldn't afford to do game updates. Even though we still got them every Wednesday, they wouldn't always be as hyped up as they said they would be. But what happens next? Basically, like I said previously, Star Stable has 1 month to reply, and this is a pretty tight timeline for them. This is a pretty sticky situation that they're in. With all this being said, I do definitely think Star Stable has some things to fix and some things to work on, but that's pretty much every game, so I'm not just singling them out. But I hope you guys still have a great time on Star Stable. I hope that you guys can come along with me for the journey, but I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Kenzie out.